Hi guys, my name is Valerie and this is a channel about America. In this video, I'm gonna share with you the information about how international students can find a full-time job in the United States, how international students can get their social security numbers and get their work permits. And we're definitely gonna cover OPT here, how to apply for OPT, how to find a job during OPT, what are the rules of taking OPT, whatsoever. If that's something you're interested in, keep on watching. After you finish your degree in the United States, whether you were studying in a college or the university, you can get your OPT. OPT is an optional practical training. It is optional for you to go and work after you graduate. You don't have to take the OPT, but I definitely recommend to do that because that's the opportunity to get your work visa. That's an opportunity to develop your skills in the area where you were studying, and that's just an awesome experience which you should not miss. So for example, you were studying at a college and you completed your AS degree or AAS degree. Now you can take your OPT. There is one thing I want to share. You don't have to necessarily complete the 2 year of education to get your OPT. You can also do it in between. Once you finish 1 year of education, you're already eligible for 1 year of OPT. There is one rule over there. While you're taking your OPT, you cannot take any classes. So it's whether a school or an OPT. And in my personal opinion, it makes more sense to take your OPT after you graduate, after you receive your full diploma, because after 2 years of studying, you get more knowledge, you get more skills to put into your resume, and you get more chances to find a better job. Because if you start looking for a job after just 1 year of studying in college, I do not think that you're actually gonna have enough skills to find a good job and to be qualified for a good position. But it's definitely up to you. If you feel that you're ready to go for it, go for it. Guys, if you like this video, if you like the content which I'm making here, please do not forget to subscribe and like the video. As I said earlier, you're gonna get 1 year of OPT. During the OPT, you're gonna have your work permit and you're gonna have your social security. How to apply for those, I'm gonna talk a little bit later. Here, let's talk about some rules. There are definitely some rules because if you're an international student, there are always rules which are applied towards you. In this case, when you're taking an OPT and you get your work permit for 1 year, remember that you can only work for 1 year. Within those 12 months, you can be unemployed only for 3 months. If for some reason you cannot find a job for more than 3 months, you have to reconsider your position in the United States. You have to either leave the country or you have to continue your education, apply for another degrees, but your OPT will be over. So if you are staying unemployed for more than 3 months, that's bad, because that's the reason to get your OPT cancelled. Also, those 3 months of being unemployed includes the dates which you are out of the country. So also include those in mind. For example, you decided to travel or go to your own country, right, to visit your family. Those dates will be deducted from those 3 months which you can stay unemployed within your OPT period. Now let's talk about how to find a job for your OPT. That's, I would say, the basic job search. You're just looking for the jobs which relate to your degree. So if you were studying for an accountant, you have to look for accountant jobs. You cannot go to human resources because you won't be eligible for OPT if you're working in the industry which do not relate to your area of study. So keep that in mind as well. That's why it is really important to really take time to decide what you want to study, because after your graduation you're going to have to work in the same area. Here's one tip I want to share. You can start looking for your jobs before your OPT begins, and it's not even you can, I would say you must start looking for jobs before your OPT begins, because hiring process takes a while in the United States, and it's not even hiring process, it's the job search process. It can take up to 6 months for someone, even more for some other individuals. That's why you need to keep that in mind. And what I did, my school ended in December and I started looking for a job in August. So I kind of had those 3-4 months to find a job And to make sure that as soon as I get my work permit and my OPT begins, I already gonna have a contract. And that actually what happened. If you are interested to know about how did I find my job and where were I working, please write it down in comments so I'll know that you are interested in the topic, and I'll make another video for that. But there is one thing you need to keep in mind. Even if you find a job before your OPT begins, you're not allowed to start working there until you get your work permit and until your OPT starts. So for example, I found my job in September. It took around 2 months to go through hiring process and interviewing process. But when my company said that they want to hire me, I told them that I only can start working in January because that's when my OPT begins. And lucky me, they decided to wait because I wouldn't be able to start working early because I wouldn't have my work authorization. That's why you're more than welcome to start going on interviews, because job search process gonna take you a while, but just do not sign any contracts. Do not start working before your OPT begins, because that's the break of F1 visa rules, and that's the reason to get deported. But when can you apply for an OPT, right? How to pick a date? Here are also some tips I want to share. You can apply for the OPT starting from the second week of your last quarter, after which you want to start taking your OPT. So for example, my fall quarter began in September and it ended in December, and that was my last quarter of education. That was my last quarter of studying at the college. As far as I remember, it began in 20th of September, and during the second week, so it was like first days of October, I already applied for my OPT. You're not allowed to do it earlier. You're not allowed to apply for the OPT like in 3 quarters in advance before the end of your classes, before the end of your education. You can do that only during the starting from the second week of your last quarter, after which you want to take OPT. Or if you're taking your OPT after 1 year of education, then you're gonna have to apply for that during the second week of your third quarter at the college. Why would I recommend to apply as soon as possible, as soon as you're allowed to apply? Because it does take a while to get your EAD card, your work authorization card. Especially now, COVID started, all processes just got slowed down significantly. I was applying for my OPT before COVID, and it took 3 months to get my card delivered. And even back then, my advisor at the college told me that it may take up to 5 months to get my card delivered. 5 months. That's why as sooner you apply, as sooner you're gonna get your work permit, and as sooner you're gonna be able to start working. So how to apply for an OPT? The process is not that difficult, and I'm gonna share all the steps with you right now. So the first thing to do is to submit your graduation application, which basically proves that you have completed all classes from your program. You can easily do it at your college or at your university. I'm pretty sure the advisor gonna tell you how and where you can do that. And as soon as you get an approval, as soon as the advisor says yes, right, you completed all your classes, now you can go ahead and apply for an OPT. The OPT registration process begins. The first thing to do is to complete your OPT cover page. That's the form where you put the date when you're gonna end your education, so the last date of your classes. You're also gonna include the degree which you're gonna receive at that institution, and you're also gonna have to pick the start date of your OPT. It's really important to think about the start date and make a good decision and pick the right date for you. So there are also some rules here. For example, your education ends on 15th of December. That's the last day of your classes, your quarter is completed, and on 16th your vacation begins. You have 2 months starting from that day to start your OPT. You cannot start your OPT, 6 months after the graduation. You cannot start your OPT a year after your graduation. No, you have 2 months, and you can either start it the next day after the graduation, or you can start within 30 days, but just remember there is a 2-month period. The date when your OPT begins must go between the last day of your classes and plus 2 more months. But I'm pretty sure if you're gonna try to put something wrong, the advisor at your school will notice that and they will tell you that that's impossible, but I just want to let you know that in advance. Also, the date which you choose as a start date for your OPT is gonna be the date when your work authorization will start working. Basically, OPT and work authorization in this case pretty much the same thing, but it's like your status is OPT. I am on my OPT, but here's my work authorization. But your work authorization and your OPT starts and ends at the same time. Also, to this OPT package goes Form I-765, which also your college advisor or university advisor are gonna provide you. You're also gonna have to provide your institution with all copies of your Form I-20. So if within your years of studying you got several Form I-20, make sure you have them all ready because you're gonna have to use them. You're also gonna need to have your F1 visa and your valid foreign passport, and the Form I-94, which says where were you coming and live in the United States. And as usually every time when you apply for any kind of documents in the United States or any other country, you're gonna have to provide them with the passport photos. They're gonna have to be taken within 30 days of applying for an OPT. And why are they using them? They're using them to print your work authorization card. Another thing which you have to do to apply for an OPT is to pay money. When I was applying, I paid $410. I'm not sure if that price has changed, but hopefully it did not, because $410 is already not that cheap. But yeah, that's what you're paying for getting an opportunity to start working in America. And it is also up to you to complete the Form J1145, which lets you track the status of your application. To apply for an OPT and get your work authorization, you're gonna have to get your social security number. If you don't have it, do not worry, you're gonna be able to apply for social security number at the same moment when you're gonna apply for your work authorization card. You're just gonna have to check out that extra box in the Form I-765. When all this package is ready, you're gonna bring it to your school so the advisor can double check it. I would definitely do that. I would not trust myself to submit all that important paperwork on my own. So I would really wanna have someone to double check that, and I'm pretty sure that your advisor gonna tell you the same. So what I did is I came to the college, I brought my paperwork, they double checked it, and they mailed it. I also got the USPS tracking number so I could track the package and make sure that everything is safe. And yeah, I got really lucky because my OPT card arrived within 3 months, which was perfect. As far as I remember, I received it around like 3 weeks before my OPT began. So yeah, I'm super happy that I did not wait until the last moment to apply for OPT, because if I would not receive my card on time, and I don't know, maybe I wouldn't get the job, or I would have to start working later, or whatever. All my relationship with my potential boss would be kind of ruined. So yeah, my main advice is to take all the paperwork seriously. Make sure that you do not make any mistakes while doing that. Start looking for a job as soon as possible, because the job search process can take a long time. And also apply for an OPT as soon as possible too. As soon as you're allowed to apply for an OPT, go ahead and do that. And my personal advice is to apply for an OPT after the graduation, after you complete your whole diploma, so you have all the knowledge in the world in your head and you can apply for better positions. Guys, I really hope you liked the video. If you did, go ahead and click the like button. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments. And as always, I wish you have a good day or a good night. Bye.